Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. We are picking up with the latest episode 8 that was a continuation of Porsha's birthday trip in Nashville, y'all. And they had Shamia do like a country rendition of some of the drama at the beginning of the episode. They had the next morning people kind of checking in on with their significant others and kind of what's going on, what's the tea, Porsha sleeping in. The day is set up for them to do, some of them to do whiskey tasting, and then the other to do some type of Coyote Ugly type of bartending class is what it kind of looked like to me. Then Cynthia and Angela got together. Angela, Cynthia was asking Angela, when is Drew coming? Because everybody keeps asking about Drew and nobody knows where she is. And she said that Drew should be coming in the morning, and eventually Drew did show up or whatever else. I guess she'd reached out, or Cynthia had reached out to Porsha as far as like which group is Drew going to be a part of, the whiskey tasting or the Coyote Ugly stuff. And Porsha said Drew can do whatever she wants. We saw Porsha and Shamia getting ready together and all of the things. And Porsha eating some leftover ribs from the night before and everything else. They all get into, the party bus, the party vehicle to go. They're all going to be on the same party bus, but it's going to make 2 stops to 2 locations. And so then Shamia starts crying, and I guess there was somebody who reached out, and this is where, like, I kind of have these issues with these reality shows because I feel like it kind of just got dumped on us, and I feel like, wait, what? And I feel like I have to like backtrack and remember like what happened and all this other stuff. So back in 2018, Kenya had a event, where people spoke out about any type of DV that they've experienced, and Shamia spoke on it as well as Cynthia's mom. And Shamia, this is when she was married to somebody. She was like engaged and married to them for like a year, and she had a DV incident. Now, I'm not sure who the lady was that reached out to Shamia, but basically sent her like some type of message, and she felt, really emotional about that. And then in addition to that, she's emotional because Shiloh has like a lot of needs and had an ear infection and had some other stuff going on. So she was FaceTiming with Gerald to see what the updates were on that, and he's telling her to be strong. And so Mia's like, this is why I really want to give him a son and everything else. And I just feel like Shamia, like, I understand, but like you did have an ectopic pregnancy, like you had issues with the last, I just want y'all really to just make sure you're not putting your body or anything else through anything you don't need to go through, and everything else, and that everybody can kind of focus on taking care of the kids you have, and then if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Then y'all, everybody splits up. So Cynthia is having a time at the whiskey tasting, y'all. She is out drinking everybody. And then she's kind of like really taking up for Britt, because Britt is rehashing everything that went down with Kenya. And this is kind of why I wish Cynthia was at the brunch, because I feel like this would have been moved along. And I feel like this is what's happening too, is that I'm noticing when people don't want to discuss themselves is they'll redirect into like an older storyline or something that happened in the previous episodes that had already been resolved as a deflection of talking about themselves. So nonetheless, Britt starts crying. She's upset. She feels that nobody really had her back at the brunch and everybody was Team Kenya and Team Twirl, and everybody was trying to tell Britt, like, we weren't feeling your energy. Your energy was very negative and very out of order and everything else. And so nonetheless, that was why, they felt a certain type of way. Then we get over to the Coyote Ugly, and we have Kelly, Porsha, and Shamia. They're practicing different types of drinks and bartending and shots and all of that. And then Porsha's basically, talking with him. She doesn't understand why Angela's trying to make a big deal about this Drew stuff. And Angela's trying to instigate and set Drew up and all of this and all of that. They all reconvene back into the party bus to go back to the house, and Britt is white girl wasted. She is toasted, y'all. She is 10 shades to the wind. She is a lightweight and was done. So nonetheless, they asked Porsha, okay, what are we going to do? Porsha's like, listen, we are 40 and older. We are going to take a nap. And then we'll have, a cowboy dinner or whatever. So they all take a nap. Porsha was in this really cute white outfit, was FaceTiming with Dennis and with Pilar, and they had a cute conversation. And then Porsha comes down in funeral attire. Like, it is about to be somebody's funeral and all black everything. And I'm like, uh-oh. So Porsha, apparently somebody told her to kill the mood. I don't know who this was. I don't know if this was somebody in production or if this was a mutual friend of Porsha and Drew's or whatever. But somebody let Porsha know that essentially Drew and Dennis had been filming together. And she was just on the phone with Dennis, and Dennis has not mentioned any of that. So Porsha feels a certain way because she doesn't know what tea of hers is going to come out or spill out in revenge, since Dennis has already previously said that he had to watch Porsha do a million weddings on TV. So nonetheless, Porsha comes down, and it was interesting because everybody's kind of coming down. Everybody has different times. Cynthia comes down, and there's these two cowboys that are bartenders. One of them's black, and he is just like looking at Cynthia like he wants to sop her up like a biscuit. I don't know if it was because the Bravo cameras were there or whatever, but nonetheless, Cynthia was like, I'm already, twisted off this whiskey, and now you're about to have me folded up like a pretzel, like how you're flirting with me and everything else. So nonetheless, everybody else comes down. Shamia, I have no idea what her attire is. And Kelly, I don't know what her attire is. I just don't get some of these fashions, y'all. Like, y'all want to brag about these designer labels, fine. But I'm seeing better outfits at Fashion Nova at this point. That makes sense. Like sometimes not all designer needs to be worn. Like, we gotta just say it. I don't care if it was $10,000 or $20,000. If it looks tacky, it looks tacky. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. That's just my stance, y'all. So, nonetheless, they all come down or whatever else. Drew's throwing shade at the cowboy men. They all go outside. There's some cowboy men that are out there teaching some line dances and everything else. Porsha's still kind of in a whatever type of mood. They're all sitting there waiting to eat. There's some delay with some of the food, with some of the fish or whatever that they were supposed to have. And but the food's coming, and everybody's trying to figure out what's wrong with Porsha. Why is Porsha's energy down? Porsha really doesn't want to talk about it. And nonetheless, Drew's trying to clear her name and say, hey, I know I was, Angela invited me, this and that. And everybody's like, well, listen, Drew wasn't on the call, so that obviously would mean that she wasn't invited. So nonetheless, Angela's trying to, twist it around. And then Angela and Porsha have a little back and forth. And, basically Porsha's like, you can tell Angela to kiss my bleep. Angela's like, you've had the world kissing your bleep and you need to be held accountable and da-da-da-da-da. And I don't know why at somebody's birthday trip we're bringing up how Porsha and Simon got together, and even Kelly has like since flip-flopped and backed down and was like, listen, looky here, it's water under the bridge. Porsha did answer for it and everything else, and you know, and the thing of it is, for me, it's like Porsha, like it didn't, the situation didn't work out. So I don't even know why, like y'all are trying to drag this out. Porsha didn't want to talk about it in the premiere episode. She doesn't want to talk about it 7 episodes later. So why y'all keep bringing it up? And she's going through a divorce anyways. He's dragging her all through the internet. She can't film at the house. Like what? You know, like I don't know. I just felt like Porsha at that point was like, all right, you're going to talk spicy to me. I'm going to say something spicy that's going to piss you off. So nonetheless, Drew, you know, leaves the room or whatever, says she's leaving the trip or leaving early, that she's tried to make amends with Porsha. Porsha basically was like, she asked Porsha directly if there's an issue. Porsha was like, you straight. But usually when somebody says you straight, really you're not. Really, there's an issue, but they just don't feel like talking to you about it. But nonetheless, Britt was trying to speak up for Porsha and be Porsha's advocate and everything else. But, you know, it was just an awkward dinner. It was an awkward dinner. So after that, Cynthia and Porsha were talking in her room. Porsha explained to Cynthia why she was upset about the whole Dennis filming with Drew thing. And then here comes Cynthia, you know, like, you know how these baby daddies are, you know, if somebody's trying to, you know, do XYZ with Leon, like there's going to be a problem. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, nonetheless, then the girls all decided to have a little powwow at the pool, like around after midnight, I believe, from like midnight till 2, 3 in the morning. And they're having a good time. Everyone's in their bikinis. Not sure what's going on with Britt's BBL or whatever that was, but child, I don't know what that was. Nonetheless, everybody's having a good time. Drinks are flowing, people are throwing dollars, they're playing games, this and that, and apparently, allegedly, Angela hears all the commotion and starts filming, right? Starts filming, and then allegedly there is some drama. So I guess everything kind of came to a close when Angela came outside to confront Porsha about something that she heard that was going down when they were all commiserating at the pool. So allegedly, they were talking about Angela. They were dragging her fashions or lack thereof. They were dragging her husband and saying that he has a wandering eye. And, you know, apparently, allegedly, Porsha said, you know, according to Kelly, that Shamia said that, you know, Charles has all types of women. Somebody else said that Charles had a girl in New York. And then Porsha said, if Angela don't stop playing, I'm going to bleep her husband. And I was like, oh, child, this is not going to end well. Now, Angela played a recording, but we couldn't make out what the recording said. But Kelly did confirm what Angela said. However, we never saw any footage of Porsha actually saying it. So nonetheless, you know, Angela's pissed. She confronts Porsha about it, and Porsha goes to her room. So then Angela decides, you know what, I'm gonna leave first thing in the morning. I'm getting the bleep up out of here and everything else. Kelly tries to come up and greet Angela. Angela does not want to hear it. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm not about to do this fake stuff. And I'm not understanding Kelly, man. I don't get all this flip-flopping that she does. Like, just choose a side and stay with it. Like, if you're going to be 10 toes down for Britt, be 10 toes down for Britt. But all this back and forth, like at first you didn't like Porsha, you didn't like her energy, now you're team Porsha, now you're defending Porsha hard in the paint and everything else, and it's like now you're just like glued to Shamia, because to Shamia, you know, obviously she's friends with Candy, who has a good relationship, you know, with the show and everything else, and Shamia and Porsha are semi still. I don't know if they're still friends or not, but they did run into something that got them rocky, so everything else is just, it's just a mess, y'all. But nonetheless, you know, that was the episode. A preview for the next episode. We see Britt and Angela get into it again, where Angela tells Britt that you've got a whole bunch of miles on your mouth. And then also we see another preview where Angela is going to tell Charles about Porsha and Porsha's comments, and Charles is defending Porsha. And then when Angela brings up that Porsha allegedly said that she was going to bleep Charles, he has like a grin on his face. So I don't know, like this is just this is messy. I feel Angela would have really fit in with some of the older seasons, like with Nene and Kenya and everything else, and it would have been explosive, y'all. It would have absolutely been explosive. I don't know what's going on with Porsha this season, other than she doesn't have a storyline and she's limited on what she can say and do as it pertains to Simon. So nonetheless, I just feel like she's just creating mess with everyone, but it's not coming off well at all. And nonetheless, it's like, I saw her and Giselle on Watch What Happens Live. That was a funny episode. Porsha on YouTube is funny and entertaining. However, Porsha this season on their show, I don't know. It's just giving, we're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks, except for you're the villain in every situation. Make it make sense. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.